Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Saturday Shortlist, where we are going to be looking at all the picks for our WhatAcca accumulators that are going to be on the website this coming weekend. Here, as ever, with Matthew Glazier. How are you doing, sir?
I'm very well, Benjamin. What interesting stage of the season this is at, really. Teams on the beach, are they highly motivated? Are they demotivated? It's a lottery, isn't it?
Yes. We can't necessarily trust a lot of things that at other times in the season we could trust. And we did get a lovely 4-4 in the championship. So the gates have been opened and the shackles are off and the sandcastles are being built on the beach. But that's going to be good for our BTTS, Acca, isn't it?
Yeah, you'd like to think so. I mean, a 4-4, it's almost too many goals for that sort of selection when you need the 1-1 draw when we go to that. But yeah, it's all about trying to find those games where both managers basically go, "What the hell, lads? Go out and enjoy yourself and have a good game out there."
Not sensible at all, is it? And a couple of promotions and relegation. So Fulham are up and Derby are down, and we're going to be ticking off a few more this weekend. Wigan could have gone up in midweek as well, but only drew mighty Ipswich. There you go, putting a spanner in the works. Shall we get into, first and foremost, the win Acca, which is going to be maybe a few shorter price team, but we're going to try and get you some value.
Yeah, sure. I can't believe I'm saying this, but 4 of the win Acca picks are from the championship this weekend as well. So I'm this is going to be going up in front of the school teacher, like I've said before, as well. This is going to be. I'm ready for some red lines and crosses and whatever that goes with it. Okay, we're going to go to St Andrews, and I'm going to tip up Millwall to win at Birmingham. Have Birmingham given up this season? They lost 2-0 against Forest. They lost 4-2 at home to Coventry and had that 6-1 mauling at Blackpool. I think some Birmingham fans were on the pleasure beach at Blackpool by the time that game had finished. Millwall are obviously highly motivated to win at St Andrews. Gary Rowett returning to one of his many former clubs. They're only 1 point outside the playoffs. Benik Afobe and Tom Bradshaw are the unlikely strike partnership going for goals in this game. Okay, Millwall have not been reliable away from home in the championship this season, but I just think the circumstances of the two teams makes Millwall an attractive proposition. What say you?
Yeah, I like it. I suppose the only thing is, have Birmingham bottomed out already, and will there be a little tick back in one of the games? But yeah, in terms of one team having absolutely nothing to play for, and Millwall's fixtures are good going into the last game as well. They're going to be targeting 4 or 6 points, and then they go to Bournemouth on the last day, possibly playing to get into the playoffs. So yeah, I like it.
Okay, good start. And next team is going to be Bournemouth as well to beat Fulham. And bit of a, obviously I wouldn't be tipping Bournemouth to beat Fulham under normal circumstances, but Fulham have just got promoted, like you mentioned, and they might all still be in party mode as far as I can see. Bournemouth will certainly consider this to be a good time to be playing this clash. They're 7 points clear of Nottingham Forest with 5 games remaining. Sorry, I think that they'll probably look at the Forest sort of situation rather than the 2 other teams below who've played the more games. And they're fresh from a 3-0 win at Coventry and 3 consecutive clean sheets. I think Bournemouth will just feel as though they can probably edge out a Fulham side who will probably be happy to go along and play their part in a 3-2 defeat or something along those lines as well. But I think Bournemouth at odds against probably look a spot of value. Do you think this is a good bet or a risky one?
I think it's a risky one. Yeah, I like the price. It's just the motivation of Mitrovic to score past Scott Parker. He's still playing for the record, and Fulham would love to try and get close. So if Fulham win, I think they're 1 point from confirming the title. And I think a few of those Fulham players, and certainly the Fulham fans, would love to throw a big grenade into Scott Parker's promotion charge. So I'm less certain than you are on that one. I still think Fulham have got some motivation in this one.
Okay, yeah, fair points, really. The Scott Parker angle is definitely an interesting one there. Okay, let's go to a place close to my home, close to home, and that's Pride Park, where you were at last week. I'm going to tip Derby County to beat Bristol City, and you experienced that Pride Park sort of atmosphere last weekend when they beat Fulham 2-1. I mean, the place is bouncing, and despite being relegated, this team is highly motivated, as is Wayne Rooney, to finish the season strongly. It's been a real siege mentality for most of the season, really, and sort of Mel Morris has become a real sort of hate figure there, but it's really spurred them on. They've actually won 11 of their 21 home games this season and only lost 3. They're pretty solid. And Bristol City are pretty poor away from home. They've lost 13 of 21 away. The Rams would actually be 4 points better off than Bristol City without that points deduction. So they actually have been the better team this season. And I think performance-wise, they're producing the goods. So, I just feel as though Derby odds against are a decent bet here. I really see them sort of the crowd sweeping them home to a victory, no matter how pointless it is in the whole scale of things. So what do you think to that one?
Yeah, I quite like it actually, and you're dead right that I don't know what end it is at Derby, what the stands call, but like you say, complete siege mentality, and no, we're here for the club, and I think that motivation will be far greater than Bristol City, who seem to have been meandering for 2 seasons, frankly, haven't they?
Yeah, and Nigel Pearson, formerly Derby manager, albeit a very brief one, but that being the case. Okay, I'm going to finish off the championship selections with Nottingham Forest to win at London Road. This is the shortest priced team I have flagged up so far. Peterborough are going to be relegated despite a late flurry, you would imagine. They did have 8 points from the last 4 games, but just seemingly have left things a little bit too late. Forest obviously sniffing out automatic promotion. We'll hope for a favour from Fulham and a couple of other teams. They're 36 points better off than Posh at this point in proceedings, and they've won 6 of the last 7 championship matches. They had a 4-0 win over West Brom in the last game. Most of their recent winning run has been mainly comprised of home matches, but I just feel as though they should be too strong at London Road for Posh, who have to sort of take off the handbrake and go for goals. So do you think Forest will have the edge in this game?
They have to have the edge, don't they? Forest just have to win this game when you look at the other fixtures. Yeah, you're right. Posh have improved. I'm just looking at all my permutations. So Peterborough are down unless they better Reading's result. So Peterborough have got to get something in this game, and Forest have to win. So I do see that playing in the better side, i.e. Forest's favour. So I like it, yeah.
Jolly good, jolly good. I think it's starting to take shape, the shortlist. I'm going to completely give League One a wide berth and looking through the coupon. I just really, you see matches such as like Rotherham against Oxford and things like that, and Wycombe Sheffield Wednesday. They're just very hard games to predict this weekend. So I'm going to swerve that, drop straight down to League Two, and settle on Exeter City to beat Rochdale at quite a handsome price at 7-10. Really, they just look like bank material. They've won 4 games on the bounce before Monday's defeat at Prenton Park. There wasn't much in the game between Tranmere and Exeter by all accounts. Fatigue was probably at play for Exeter, considering they'd played Good Friday, and I think they can take a big step towards the automatics in this game. They've won 6 of their past 7 matches at St James's Park. I think I've flagged them up a couple of times before to win their games, and Rochdale have lost their past 5 away games. I'm kind of surprised that the price isn't shorter based on all of that information that I've just fed through there. So do you think Exeter are worth siding with here?
Yeah, it sounds like it a lot. Can we make a direct comparison with your next pick when it comes to our League Two position? Yeah,
by all means. I mean, this is a sort of the from the shortest price to the biggest price, really. I'm going to tip up Leyton Orient to beat Northampton. A mega odds, really. I mean, this might be one for the big money, Acca, but I mean, Orient they're absolutely flying under Richie Wellens, and I tell you what, as soon as the odds come out for League Two next season, Orient should be among the favourites, and if they're double figure odds, I think they're a great each way bet. I mean, Richie Wellens has done it before with Swindon. They won 2-1 at Swindon with 10 men in the last game, and they had 10 men for like 70 minutes of that match, and Swindon are chasing promotion. They thrashed Scunny on Good Friday. They've won 6 of the past League Two games now, and the last 3 at home. I know Northampton are in the promotion mix, but they're pretty modest on the road, and they're quite a physical, direct team. I just don't think that footballing-wise, they can hold a candle to Leyton Orient. They've only won 2 of their past 7 away games, the Cobblers, and that was against Stevenage and Oldham. So all things considered, I think Leyton Orient shouldn't be the outsiders to win this game. They are motivated to finish the season strongly. Players are playing for contract. Wellens is very much determined to keep getting a tune out of these players. And to go and win at Swindon, who are chasing promotion with 10 men, I mean, they're highly motivated. So, I really like the O's at the price, I think. And it would certainly boost up any Acca that they were in, that's for sure.
Let me give you my thoughts then. So, Millwall I like. I'm a bit scared of Bournemouth, I have to say. Derby I quite like. Forest I like a lot. And Exeter I like. I'm just terrified by that price on Orient. You know League Two better than me. But my understanding of Northampton, I know you've seen them in the flesh. They're good defensive. They're good on set plays. They don't have to play well to win a game, right?
No, they don't. I mean, it's a tricky one for Northampton because in this situation with Bristol Rovers and Port Vale and sniffing around for third place as well, it's it's risk versus reward really for a team like that. But I mean, I think Forest and Exeter certainly make good
I agree with that.
cornerstones of the Acca, and it's a question of whether we take a chance on Millwall on the road at St Andrews. Or whether I don't even know whether Lee Bowyer's is Lee Bowyer committed his future at Birmingham. I'm not sure what the situation is at Birmingham.
You probably heard the same rumours as me. Is he on the bus? Is he not on the bus? You know, we're hearing all these rumours from my Birmingham friends on the way back. He's still there, and I suspect the season will end with him still there. But Lee Bowyer does not suffer fools gladly, and he stood up to Du Châtelet many times at Charlton, didn't he? So.
There have been protests this season, hasn't there? There's clearly issues with the ownership there as well. So it's just a question of whether we go for Millwall or Derby County, who I just feel as though they're, Bristol City. I think I'm not sure Pearson will be at Bristol City for much longer either, to be honest. So we'll have a little think about that. But I think we've got 2 picks, and we're just looking for that third one. So.
Yeah, so head over to WhatAcca.com and just sign up. It's completely free. You'll get the newsletter. That will drop at some point on Friday with all these selections. But there's going to be Acca tips there pretty much every day, all different types. Yeah.
All the time.
And they'll all be for you to see just in the drop-down menus. But we would recommend, obviously, going ahead and signing up with your email address. We would also recommend a BTTS Acca at this time of the season. If we can't win these weeks, Matthew, I don't know what we're doing, hey?
I know. Yeah, hopefully we can't keep sort of missing the obvious here. So there's going to be so many games, and the bookies odds are obviously going to be that little bit shorter on the basis of these high scoring matches. But there's still some interesting prices knocking around. So I've put up 6 games, Benjamin, and we'll kick off with Leicester against Aston Villa. Leicester have been BTTS in the past 5 matches. They're going to have one eye on Roma in the Europa Conference League, but they'll still be sort of fairly gung-ho in this game, I would imagine. I mean, Villa have crazily not drawn an away game this season. They've won 6 and lost their 10 on the road. They had a big rest period since losing 4-0 against Spurs. That was a bit of a false scoreline. They created loads against Tottenham. They had 8 shots on target in that game. And I just feel at this point in the season, Steven Gerrard's side have got to show something for their fans and go out. And they are quite an attack-minded team as well. But Leicester obviously got goals in them. So yes, I'd flag up that one as the first.
Yeah. Beach. No, neither team has got any interest in either end of the table. I like it.
Yeah, next one, Saturday tea time, Brentford Tottenham. As mentioned, Villa had 8 shots on targets against Tottenham, and this is a big game for informed Brentford. I mean, they've won 5 of the last 6 matches, but let's not forget where Brentford have come from. To be playing Tottenham Hotspur with nowhere, completely safe from relegation. What a fantastic situation to be in. The Brentford have scored in the last 6 Premier League games, and it's impossible to think Tottenham are going to draw another blank after losing at home to Brighton 1-0. So they did score 21 goals in those 6 games before that clash against the Seagulls. So again, I just feel this is a game where Spurs have got to go out and win for that top 4 spot, and I think Brentford are more than capable of getting at least one against them.
Yeah, I prefer Leicester and Villa, I have to say. I mean, you'd never, when there's Kane and Son, then you're very foolhardy to back against them. So my only issue is the Tottenham clean sheet, Matthew, in that one.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. One championship pick. I've already talked about Peterborough, Nottingham Forest, and how about that for a BTTS instead of Forest to win? Posh have to go for it, as I mentioned. They've scored in their past 4 matches and 8 of the last 9 games. Scoring goals hasn't always been the issue for Posh, but we know that conceding goals has. Super Jack Marriott is back in playing for 5 goals in 9 games. Forest obviously fresh from beating West Brom 4-0. They did win 4-1 at Blackpool, although you saw them, I think, drawing a blank at Luton. So maybe you're qualified to tell me whether both teams to score is going to happen in this one.
Well, I fancy Forest to score for sure. I don't know if Keenan Davis has been out. He's an absolute handful of a player, and Brennan Johnson's obviously got the pace. So the only worry is the Forest clean sheet. But like we said in the other pick, Matthew, Peterborough need a point from this. They need to score. So let's throw it into the mix. I prefer Leicester Villa so far, but let's see where we land. And I'm seeing our good old friends coming up next, who I love.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm going to run through 3 League One picks now. Obviously, League One, we've swerved for the win picks, but I don't think there's any danger there'll be goals in League One this weekend. Cheltenham and Bolton. Yeah, I mean, Cheltenham scored in their past 7 home matches. They lost 3-0 at Lincoln recently, but still had 4 shots on target. Callum Wright scoring plenty of goals. Alfie May's gone past 20 goals for the season. Bolton are actually in pretty good form. They're very streaky, Bolton, but they've won 3 and drawn 3 of the last 6 games and scored in all of them. John Daddy Budvarsson has been among the goals. I think he's possibly too good for League Two or League One even. So yeah, Cheltenham Bolton looks decent. So I'll park that one and move on to Fleetwood Wimbledon. 63 goals have now been scored in 21 goals at Highbury. I'm really pleased that they've got to that average of 3 goals because it's great for the maths. You don't have to even use a calculator to work that out. The past 4 Fleetwood games have been BTTS yes before that goalless draw at Gillingham. The past 5 Wimbledon matches have been BTTS yes. I mean, this is a relegation 6-pointer.
What a game as well, yeah.
Oh, cracking game in store. I mean, the visitors need to... I think Fleetwood, a draw wouldn't be too bad. Well, a draw isn't a disaster for Fleetwood, but it could be for Wimbledon. Wimbledon really need to go for the win here. They're in a very precarious position. And then the final League One game is MK Dons against Morecambe. And Morecambe have just found some form at a really good point in the season. They've won 3 of the last 5 League One games. They've scored 10 goals in the past 5 games. I mean, Cole Stockton, ex-Tranmere, what a season he's having. He scored 26 goals, 4 consecutively recently. And and conversely, MK Dons, I mean, just as Rotherham are capitulating and MK Dons have got 1 point from the last 3 matches. It's
incredible.
It's great if you're a Wigan fan, but not if you're either of the others. Before losing 1-0 at Oxford, Milton Keynes Dons had scored in the 11 games consecutively. So they should surely score against Morecambe, but I just think Morecambe are such dangerous opponents for them to have. So you've got Cheltenham Bolton, Fleetwood Wimbledon, and MK Dons Morecambe as the 3 League One BTTS for you to pick over there.
Right, Cheltenham Bolton, just yes, a 1,000 times. Fleetwood Wimbledon, if that was a Premier League game, you'd worry, the 2 on the edge of the relegation, you'd worry it would be really tight, but it's Fleetwood, isn't it? And you're right, Wimbledon lose. Am I adding that up? Yeah, Wimbledon lose and they're down. So, that is such a high stakes game. MK will score against Morecambe. I'm pretty certain about that. I'm not certain Morecambe will score against MK. So my summary is I like Leicester Villa. I like Cheltenham Bolton, and I think I like Fleetwood Wimbledon. Does that give us enough of a price? Can we get away with 3 on this one?
Yeah, 3's fine. I don't think we need any more than 3. I think it's about time we got a BTTS yes up as well, really. Yeah, there's sorry?
What do you think on those 6?
Oh yeah, no, I think you're on the similar lines. The issue with MK Dons is if they go a goal up against Morecambe as well, then they're in grind mode. They know that Oxford are going to go to Rotherham this weekend, and that is a tough game for Rotherham. I mean, Rotherham are in a dark place. Whether I don't know about that Papa John's Trophy, whether that participation or that final has had some kind of bearing, but Rotherham's collapse. I mean, MK Dons, I mean, posh Forest, I think we've already looked at Forest going in the WhatAcca, so that probably, we don't want to have double jeopardy there and put this game in and it being a 0-0, crazy as it might seem. So, you say maybe Tottenham might sort of, they've had a few away victories to 0 recently at Leeds and Aston Villa. So leaning towards Fleetwood Wimbledon. I just think that could be a end-to-end, like 3-3, crazy sort of final day feel to it as well. The stakes are so high, but we're not talking about pragmatic teams here with good they're bad defenses. They're very bad.
Wimbledon haven't won for about 100 years. I don't think they've won for like 20, or they've won winning 20 plus games or something.
Fleetwood or Wimbledon, both of them.
Yeah, Wimbledon, particularly.
Because Fleetwood have got 1 win in like 19 games or something ridiculous. They've been on a terrible run.
Goodness me, it's good. I don't want to insult either club, but it's going to be like drunk people fighting. It's going to be absolutely brilliant watch, isn't it?
Yeah, the best sort of game.
Fantastic stuff. If you want to find out exactly who ends up on the Acca picks this coming weekend, WhatAcca.com. They'll all be in the drop downs, but of course we would always recommend just pop your email address into the field at the top, and you can get the newsletter. And if you do want to follow any of those Accas, please, for God's sake, gamble responsibly. BigGambleAware.org. 18 plus only. Only bet what you can afford. Matthew, are you at a game this weekend?
No, I'm not. I'm at a friend's pizza. He's got a new pizza oven, so I'm going to be eating pizza.
Not a Rotherham fan, is he?
Is what?
He's not a Rotherham fan, is he?
No, he's not. He's not. What, boycotted Papa John's and built his own pizza oven? No. And I'm going to be, hopefully, I'm going to be witnessing Tranmere's 0-0 draw, 1-0 defeat at Stevenage from a father. So, yes.
Very nice too. Right, thank you for joining us as ever, Matthew. Head over to WhatAcca.com and we will see you next week for another Saturday Shortlist.